So we're finally back in Deer Hunter 2005 today for another Throwback Thursday hunt, and I know for you guys it's only been a week, but I think it's been like 2.5 weeks since I actually recorded those videos, so it was great actually in that time to see all of you guys' comments and to learn a lot of stuff from them, because there was clearly a lot that I didn't know, and some of that stuff we'll be using today, and some we'll be using kind of as we go forward with our playthrough. But there's 3 deer species that we've not yet hunted, and I think we're going to start with the Blacktail in Oregon, so I think we're all set. Got our inventory set to go, and kind of just from memory, I would find a lot of deer kind of get slowed down by the water. So we might just start here and see if that leads us to anything. That actually looks like a pretty good blacktail. It's only a 7 point, so the 101 guess kind of makes sense. But he's got a good frame. See if we can just get him taken out. From what I saw in the comments, you guys were saying that I shouldn't lead the deer when they're moving, because I guess there's like no... I don't know, like time doesn't pass once the shot happens. I think he might be starting to stumble over there, so he should go down. But I don't really remember anything from blacktail hunting as a kid. I just didn't do much of it. But that seems to be a good sized buck. So one of the things that you guys also mentioned in the comments is that we can use the thermal goggles to help recover downed deer, which is super useful because I am really good at completely losing sight of them. But he died right here in the water. Like I said, it looks like a good-sized deer. 109, so really, I don't know. Obviously, that's our best blacktail being our first one, but we'll see what we get for our second buck eventually. And another thing you guys said was to save our doe tag for the end, because basically there's a chance we could run into a rare one, and that makes sense. So it's not like it's usually very difficult to fill that tag, so we'll kind of just hang on to that one until we get both of our buck tags every time. I don't think that buck we shot earlier was special at all, seeing that. I think that's at 11 points and 136 is the estimate, so for one there's like 4 deer walking around here, but that's definitely the one we want to go for. I think he's the only buck, actually. Did he turn there? I'm not sure if he's the one that stopped. He must be that one right there. Let's try this. I have no idea if that even hit him or if it hit him well. But he was stopped. It was just like so perfect to take that shot. I'm not sure that's him. He's going to go down, I think. Maybe we can help that along. All right, nice. So that's definitely a way better buck. And we know there's a doe down here, so we can kind of follow that and try to get the doe tag filled as well. But I'm curious what he's going to score if he'll go over that 136 mark, because I feel like whitetail we haven't even topped 140 yet, so we might be doing pretty well here. He's got like a big stick or something coming off his right antler. Let's see what this is. 135. I gotta think that's at least doing pretty decent for blacktail, especially when that's about the same size as our best whitetail. But we'll see. If I could figure out the controls to not accidentally go prone all the time, that would be great. But hopefully one of those does will have stuck around and we can get that tag filled. At least we can get the guess to say that is a doe, because she's kind of hidden behind that tree. Probably one of the smallest does we've seen with that weight estimate, but finally we can make a drop shot on a blacktail. Good to actually get one, because I'm not sure that we're going to come back. Because we still have Roe Deer and axes here to go for, as something else is running off there. I think that might be a fawn. But yeah, I don't know that we'll come back to this map. We're probably going to do 4 hunts again. We'll do at least 1 for the Roe Deer and 1 for the axis deer. And we'll kind of decide what to do from there, but I'm thinking this may be our last hunt on Oregon, and at least, again, based on the bucks that we saw and very limited memory of how big the blacktail get, I think we did decently well. And I'm just curious, the weight for this one is 84 pounds, so makes a little more sense. They're a smaller deer species. But let's head back then, and I think we'll go to the Black Forest. That should be for Roe Deer. And I don't know if the caliber makes much of a difference, but I would assume hunting Roe Deer with, do we have a 338 or a 308? I actually forget now. I made this weapon to use the thermal scope and then ended up not needing it because they have the thermal binoculars. But it's a 308, so certainly that would be more than enough for Roe Deer. We'll see how that performs, but we'll give that a shot. Now again, Roe Deer were a species that I really spent next to no time hunting as a kid. But that's a pretty good looking roe buck. We'll see if we can get him. I think that said like 5... It was a 5 typical, 7 total. Curious where the 7 points coming from, because they're usually mainframe 6s. Just make sure, hopefully. I thought we were going to make sure that it was going to go down, but I can't imagine how that wouldn't have hit him. So I actually didn't adjust the spawn point and just went with like the default one. So there's a Roe Deer doe there. There's also a fawn with her. I don't know if it's because they're smaller, it takes longer to get the guest to come up, but there's a fawn walking around there, and our buck is dead right up here in front of us, so luckily we did get him. I don't know how many times we actually hit him. I think I can see a bullet wound towards his back end, so we must hit him at least twice. But this guy is going to score 66. Again, I have no idea like what a good one is, but he looked good. Looked like a pretty much like trophy-sized Roe Deer buck in real life, so if that's not a record book or anything like that, I'm interested to see just how big they get. I really think we might have found ourselves a pretty good spot here, and like I said, it's the default spawn. I didn't actually adjust it, but that's another solid looking buck. That time we actually got a drop shot, straight in through the shoulder. I like the brow tines on that. They're a lot bigger than what I've seen on most Roe Deer, but it looks good. It said 5 points, but he definitely looked like a 6. So that's going to be both of our Roe Deer buck tags already. And I know that doe is right down there somewhere, so we might just head that way and try to fill that one. Just to kind of continue on with our kind of exploring a bunch of different maps today. It is cool as well, and I mentioned it with the mule deer last time. He's like more of a brown color, where the other one was kind of like a red. But he was only 52. Kind of expected he was going to be a bit smaller, but this, compared to Oregon, being so much more open, has been a lot easier to find a couple of decent looking bucks. Maybe it was just the fact that I didn't play this map much, but I certainly don't remember it being this easy to find Roe Deer bucks. Not sure what I was doing wrong back then, but I think that's a doe and not a fawn. Actually, decent weight on that, so if she'll turn broadside, maybe we can get her taken out. I'm not so sure what was wrong with that shot, but I don't think she'll go very far. And in fact, I'm not sure she really went anywhere. That might be initially where we hit her. And she's down right over there, so I'm happy the Black Forest went quick and we were able to get our Roe Deer tags filled quickly, because the one that I kind of saved for last is the one I was most excited about, and that is going to be access to you in Australia, so I think we'll just head straight in. We've been quite fine with the inventory we have, so no reason to change that. We are officially a weekend hunter now. I'm still not sure if that does anything, but interesting to see that stuff change as we go along. But let's switch our location to Australia and we'll give this a shot. It's so hard to tell what a really good axis deer would be, because that's about the right frame for it. I mean, 6 point obviously is going to be normal, and as for a 151 score, kind of going off everything else, that seems to be pretty good. We might want to stand up for this. While he's standing still, it might have been a little forward, and he is just immediately out of there. You can kind of see him going just right off past that tree. I'm thinking we're going to need these to find him because they blend in pretty well. I have no idea how I got that map out, but we might need the thermal goggles to get that little bit of heat signature and figure out where he goes down at, because I think that should get him. And they really do make a world of difference, because this is with the normal spotting scope. Can't really see much of anything, especially not just like at a glance. But if we have this up, we can see a little bit of the orange, and then that kind of got my attention, and we can see he's down right over there. So that was a really good thing that I don't remember who commented. I actually saw it quite a lot in the comments, but I'm glad you guys pointed that out, because I had no idea that was even a thing. I especially wouldn't have guessed that it would actually help with finding the down deer, but it's cool they kept that. 145 for that, guys. So as for how big that is, I have no idea. It's definitely not like world record or anything, so we're going to hopefully hunt for bigger eventually. But one of our access to your buck tags filled. Now that looks bigger, but he actually doesn't have any brow tines. Like, the frame is just massive. Let's just take that. I'm curious what he's going to score, actually. Better shot this time, so at least I think we've managed to drop one of everything. That is a really nice frame. It almost is like circular. I wish he had brow tines, because I think he could really score pretty high, but it may still be our best axis deer. I'm curious. I mean, there's a lot there as far as the main beams. Let's see. 165. So that's 20 higher scoring without brow tines. That is unfortunate he didn't have him, because I feel like he could have been somewhere near world record, and I don't even know what it is. I just know that it seems like around 200 for like mule deer and stuff is world record, so could have been. But anyway, not the eventual record axis deer we want to get, so we'll have to keep hunting for them, but we do need to fill our doe tag yet. it's actually interesting to me how big the access to your does even seem to be. Like 167 pounds on the estimate. I don't know if we can get that. Hopefully. Maybe a second shot will help. We have the thermal goggles, so we should be able to find her. Just wanted to get that tag filled and out of the way because I'm trying to decide what to do for our last hunt of this video. I'm kind of thinking we might go back after Whitetail because I feel like we did pretty good with our Blacktail today. I really don't know how big they get, but that second one, I think he scored 135, seemed pretty good. Our access to there at 165 was good, and I felt like the first Roe Deer buck we shot was pretty big. And we've gotten a good mule deer. I'm really not as happy with our Whitetail, so I think that's going to be what we go and focus on, but gotta find our access to your doe first. And it really is these thermal goggles that keeps on helping, because like just that little bit of grass is enough to block them from our view. But yeah, 144 pounds, that's a pretty good size access to your doe, I would think. But that is all 3 of our tags filled here in Australia, so we're gonna head back. Oh, I guess that's a thing. There's 6 Deer Hunter 2005 trophies. Look through your trophy case to see what you just won. Also, you got a bonus skill point, which you can use right now to improve your hunter skills. The Bronze Grand Slam is just for taking 1 buck of each species. That makes sense. I'm curious how you get the other ones, because I really don't know. So what would we do for our skills here? Does it say what they do? Yeah, so I'm going to read through these real quick. I think stealth's going to be what we want, but I want to read through and check. I think we are going to go ahead and improve our stealth after reading through all that. But that's definitely something else. For those of you that know this game better in the comments, if there's a skill that I should be increasing, feel free to let me know. The presence seems like it could be something, and the culling as well they talk about making it more effective with larger animals, but that's not something we've gotten into lately, and I'm hoping that we play this game long enough to at least get a few more skill points to actually add. But yeah, we're going to go back to one of the Whitetail maps. I actually haven't decided which we're going to do just yet. Illinois or Georgia. I think I like Georgia better. Maybe this time it'll be a little kinder to us and spawn a better sized buck. And I mean, my experience has been anything up here is pretty easy hunting and good and open, so we'll start with this. That's actually quite cool to see again. We have 2 whitetail bucks out here fighting, and I think both of them are bigger than anything we've taken before. One of them's a 10 point up to 170. That one's a 10 point just 103, so I think it's the left one then that we want to go for. And we'll do sort of the same thing as we did with the mule deer in Utah, just kind of when they stop. Now I'm not sure though, because it looks like the one on the left is bigger right now. Let's get him. Let's get a look here. That was actually neat. We got to hear the sound a little bit. I think we shot the bigger one, but I'm really not so sure. If he doesn't score anywhere near 170, we'll follow that one. Now I think that's, yeah, we got the right one. So we almost shot the wrong one, because it was definitely the one that is now staying up to 103 that I thought was going up to 170. But I think this is going to be our best whitetail now. Seems like he's got kind of like shortish tines, but a really nice main frame. 149, so that's still definitely our best whitetail. A little lower than what the guest said. So I just don't know what to expect for like how many bucks we could see in one hunt. I know switching to expert difficulty we should see less deer but bigger ones. And this is already the 3rd buck, and he's kind of like wonky looking, so I want to take that. I'm not sure if he just spooked or if he's kind of trotting around. I think he's just kind of doing his thing out there. Go ahead and make that shot, just to sort of have that in the lodge, since he's got like, his right antler is pretty good size and the left one's kind of little. But yeah, I don't know at what point, like how many deer should I see before I start actually maybe settling on one of the smaller ones. That's something we'll learn as we go along, but since we got our personal best whitetail right away, I thought we'd do that, and I think that is also a whitetail doe. Pretty far out there, 206 yards, so we'll get a little closer since our rifle sighted in for about 150. And we can just pretty much walk in a straight line. Our 149 would have been straight back that way. We have our, whatever this guy's going to score, smaller one. And then the doe is just chilling right there. Only one that's not a drop shot, but I don't imagine she's going too far with that. Then this guy is 96, so closer to what the guest said. And it looks like our doe's kind of stumbling, so I think she's going to go down. But I really do feel like this hunt, because of the things you guys said in the comments from the last couple of videos, just went a lot smoother. We managed to do 4 total hunts, filling our tags every time in probably like 2/3 the amount of time or less as it took both of the other times. So that was definitely a positive. But I do want to go into the Trophy Lodge. I definitely want to see our Axis Deer, Blacktail, and the newest Whitetail we got. I think the Whitetail was a typical. Yeah, that guy right there. That's a nice looking 10-point. Brow time's a little bit uneven. I do like that. They're almost never perfectly even. And that's obviously a little more realistic. Good shot and everything on that one. So our Blacktail then, I think we only have the $2. And yeah, I mean, that's a good looking Blacktail. Again, I don't know how big they get, but 135 seems to be pretty solid. Then we have our Axis Deer. This guy's interesting, because this is the 165. That is the 145. The frame difference is just massive. And again, I wonder if he had brow tines, exactly where he ends up. And then just, since we're here, might as well look at our Roe Deer bucks super quickly. That would be the smaller one. I like that, again, like the fur type difference. Our bigger one, bigger body, like that redder color. Not a great shot as he was kind of not at the best angle, but good looking bucks all around. I'm happy with that. Happy with the direction this playthrough is going. But yeah, as for next time, we'll have to see, because we've now hunted one of everything. I'm not sure if we're going to try custom maps or just basically continue hunting for a world record, but I like this. It's a lot of fun to go out there and just see all the different antlers and everything, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of the bigger ones that are obviously a little more difficult to find, as we spent 3 hunts out here and no record book or world record deer just yet, but obviously that's a good thing. Makes it more interesting that they're not super common. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.